What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This video is a little different than others as my camera just all of a sudden stopped working on me. Rest assured, I'm getting a new one by the end of the day today, but I want to bring you guys this video going over Lucid Motors earnings, what was announced, and how investors are now taking this, because we got a whole load of good news. Not exactly everything we were expecting, but definitely meet all of analysts' expectations. So we're definitely going to see a bullish reaction, in my personal opinion, with the stock price. But I also want to talk about the gamma squeeze that is unfolding, as well as the high short interest and the high amount of shares that still has to be covered. So let's get into this video, guys. Hit that like button for me. Consider subscribing to the channel. And if you guys want 5 free stocks, check out that link in the description for Moo. So let's get straight into this video. Let's dive in. First off, what happened with earnings and what was actually said and announced. So here's an article from CNBC. Shares of EV startup Lucid rise after executives confirm new reservations 2022 vehicle production. It says shares of Lucid Group jumped more than 5% during after-hours trading before retreating to even, as reported in first quarterly financial results as a public company. The electric vehicle startup announced a notable increase in vehicle reservations and confirmed its production target for next year, while reporting a net loss of $524.4 million in the third quarter. This was widely expected because it costs a lot of money to make these vehicles, to ramp up production. It's not a cheap thing. So it was expected. They go on to say Lucid, which went public via a SPAC deal in July, reported it has lost $1.5 billion through the first 9 months of the year. And like I said, goes without saying, this was due to building their factory, ramping up capacity to now be delivering these vehicles. It says the company on Monday said it has more than 17,000 reservations for its Air sedan, up from 13,000 through the third quarter. The reservations through September represented an order book of $1.3 billion, the company said. Lucid also confirmed its 20,000 vehicle production target for next year, but said hurdles remain for achieving those plans. In quotes, we remain confident in our ability to achieve 20,000 units in 2022, Lucid CEO Peter Rawlinson said in a press release. In quotes, this target is not without risk given ongoing challenges facing the automotive industry, with global disruptions to supply chains and logistics. Rawlinson said the automaker was taking steps to mitigate supply chain hurdles and still planned to launch less expensive versions of Lucid Air through 2022. The automaker's revenue in the third quarter was $232,000, largely from a battery deal with a Formula E electric racing league, Lucid CFO Sherry House told Wall Street analysts Monday during a call. She said the company will begin recording revenue from vehicle sales and report details of its sales beginning for the fourth quarter. Shares closed at $44.88 per share, up 2.2%. The stock price remains below its 52-week high of nearly $65 a share in February, when it was reported that Lucid was nearing a deal with blank check company Churchill Capital to go public. Shares of Lucid are up by more than 80% since the company went public through a reverse merger with Churchill in July. The largest daily increase of 31% occurred late last month when the company confirmed customer deliveries of the Lucid Air Dream Edition were beginning. In quotes, I feel great about our stock price, House told CNBC during a phone interview. The run-up that we've had, where it is today, and also the growth trajectory, frankly, that's in front of us. And I see that's where we're being regarded as a technology company with a platform that's extensible across lots of vehicle variants and sustainable tech. Rawlinson echoed those remarks. I think what is happening in our stock value reflects our status as a tech company more than a car company. The all-electric Air sedan on Monday was named Motor Trend's Car of the Year, a coveted award in the automotive industry. It marks the first time that the initial product from a new automotive company has received the reward, according to the publication. Now, this right here, that's something I want to talk about briefly, because a lot of people look to Motor Trend Trend. If you're a car person, you know what Motor Trend is. And a lot of people do not have Lucid Motors on their radar as a vehicle in general. If you walk down the street or walked in a mall or in Walmart, wherever you go to shop and there's a lot of people, if you asked everybody, what is Lucid Motors? Do you know what Lucid Motors is? The Lucid Air? I guarantee you guys, if you walked into Walmart or a mall, a handful of people might know what the car is. That's the thing here. If we're seeing these kind of reservation numbers, 17,000 vehicles, a lot of this is not the general public because there is virtually no knowledge on what the Lucid Air actually is. Now that they got Motor Trend's Vehicle of the Year for 2022, that's going to open up thousands of new people to the vehicle and expose them to the product. This is a huge win overall for all Lucid investors. It says, in total, Lucid said it plans to deliver 520 customer-configured Lucid Air Dream Editions, followed by production of lower-priced models. Lucid told investors in July that it expects to produce 20,000 Lucid Airs in 2022, generating more than $2.2 billion in revenue, according to an investor presentation. The Dream Edition is a $169,000 special edition of its flagship sedan, with an industry-leading range of up to 520 miles, according to the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency. Pricing for an entry-level version of the car, the Lucid Air sedan starts at $77,400 before and up to $7,500 federal tax credit for plug-in vehicles. Lucid is among a handful of EV startup companies to go public through deals with SPAC companies since last year, but unlike many of its SPAC peers, Lucid is actually generating revenue and producing vehicles. It also has thus far avoided any federal probes into potentially misleading statements to investors, unlike others such as Nikola, Lordstown Motors, and Canoe. So we're definitely on the right track with Lucid Motors, and the fact that they are reiterating the same guidance that they were saying 6 months ago, that is a big win right there. It shows reputability. It shows that obviously leadership is going to say something and stick with it. So that's what you guys need to know. The most notable things is obviously 17,000 pre-orders. That's a jump of 4,000. And just to reiterate yet again, Lucid Air is not widely known. A lot of these people are probably investors that are pre-ordering these vehicles, not really the general public. Once the vehicles get out in the marketplace, once people get word of Motor Trend naming Lucid as the vehicle of 2022, you're going to get a lot more people looking at the vehicle at the very least, if not a lot more people actually pre-ordering these vehicles. So I do think over the next 6 to 12 months, we're going to get some incredible back order numbers for Lucid Airs. Now, let's talk about the overall situation with the Gamma Squeeze, and then let's talk about the short squeeze scenario. So expiring by this Friday, we do see a lot of contracts that are already in the money. So all of this open interest will have to be hedged for. When you're talking about thousands of contracts, one contract represents 100 shares that has to be bought by market makers. Now, some people, they sell covered calls. I do myself, but about 90% of the back end calls, the seller of calls is market makers. So if that's the case, generally speaking, you could just add some zeros here. So say 5,500 for open interest. That really controls about 550,000 shares that would have to be bought by market makers. Now the 90% probably brings it down to about 440,000 shares that would have to be bought. But still, when every single expiration date or strike price, I should say, has high numbers like this in the multi-thousands, you can definitely see a lot of buying activity. And that's what we've seen over the past couple of weeks, is this has mostly been long-term investors buying the stock, but also a bigger portion of the move that we have seen to the upside is contributed to the Gamma Squeeze. And at the $45 strike, you're looking at 12,692 for open interest, and then all the way down to the $50 strike, you're looking at some high numbers as well, in between 45 and 50. But at 50, you're looking at 14,167 for open interest. So definitely a substantial amount of shares that have to be hedged for by the end of this week, as long as we stay above where we are currently at $44 per share. All of these other, strikes, say the $40, the $35 strike, all of these will have to be hedged for and fully hedged for by Friday. So you're going to see continuous buying that goes in, unless we do see big time investors selling Lucid Motors, or we do see EV stocks like Rivian just crash out of nowhere throughout the rest of this week. You're probably not going to see a substantially red day, and certainly not tomorrow in my personal opinion, just because, and when I'm filming this, It's actually early morning hours. So when I say tomorrow, I mean just later in the day today. So that is basically what you guys need to know from the whole gamma squeeze situation. As far as the short squeeze, guys, take a look at this. The short interest of free float is almost 10% with a 1 day to cover. And this was obviously from settlement day October 29th. So these numbers may be a little bit different. But still, you're looking at in between 8 and 10% short interest of free float and about 54.22 million shares that are currently sold short. So very significant numbers that will have to be covered by the market makers at some point into the near term future. If I were to speculate, once Lucid Motors gets to $50 per share, you're going to see a lot of pressure on these hedge funds that have short positions on Lucid Motors to be forcefully liquidated or to forcefully be covering on those positions. As well as that, with the gamma squeeze, with these good numbers from earnings, really those pre-reservation numbers and the guidance that has been reiterated, I do think you're going to see a continued rally. $50 definitely not off the table in the near term future with Lucid Motors. But keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a financial planner, and I am certainly not your dad, so do whatever you guys want to do. I am only providing you guys the due diligence and the facts that you need to know, mixed in with my opinions. And that's what you guys really should take from this, is the due diligence and my opinions, and come to your own conclusions. Very, very important. So that is going to wrap up this video. If you guys want to support the channel, all that good jazz, check out the links in the description for Moomoo. Like I said, get 5 free stocks when you open an account. When you deposit $2,000, get 3 more additionally free stocks. You guys cannot go wrong by doing that. Link for Public, link for Webull as well. All that helps to support the channel, and the link for the buy and sell alerts if you guys want to be notified every time I make a trade in stock, options, and or crypto, whether it's a day trade, swing trade, or long-term investment. That is your way to do that, and that pays for itself. So hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you later on today, but that is all. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you in the next one.